Good morning. My name is Greg Doherty, and this is my video submission for Week 11, Standard 4 for the IEP template, Mock IEP Introduction. To start off, I want to say that I'm going to be using the template that my program uses. This way, it's something familiar, and it's at the same time it covers all the legal parameters that we need to for the IEP meeting. To start off, I'm going to introduce everybody at the table. We have Barbara Hunter. She is our occupational therapist. David Rickman is our school psychologist. Emily Huddy is our school nurse. Abby Stevens is our speech pathologist that works with Mr. Henderson. Patricia Spence is our assistant principal. Jennifer Weber is our principal. Myself, I'm Greg Doherty. I'm the classroom teacher. Kristen Brown is the LEA representative of Charleston Community Unit School District. Jason Henderson, who is the father. Veronica Henderson is the mother. And then, of course, Douglas Henderson is not able to join us. Having too many people in the room that he's unfamiliar with is a trigger for him. So we decided to go ahead and leave him in the classroom for now. And we'll carry on with this meeting as it is. The reason why we're meeting today, this is Douglas Henderson's 3-year reevaluation for special education services. So we spent the last several months going through a bunch of tests and cognitive and functional batteries and helping to figure out where Douglas is at currently and whether or not we need to make any changes to his IEP regimen to see what we can do to help him. Before we get started, I do want to say that there are some norms that we attach to every IEP meeting in this facility. Portions of this meeting in particular will be handled by myself. Other portions will be handled by Dr. Rickman, the school psychologist, and further other portions will be handled by our principal, Jennifer Weber. But everyone will have a chance to voice their opinions and to state whatever they want or need to say. And we're all professionals here, so I also want to reassure you that we will not be offended by anything you have to say, and we certainly don't mean any offense by anything we say. As long as we can all agree that Douglas's best interests are what we're here to serve, then I think we can go ahead and carry on with the IEP meeting. I will, of course, turn the table over to Dr. Rickman, who will discuss the tests that he conducted, as well as the testing parameters that were applied to those batteries, as well as the test results, and he'll offer a full explanation for all involved. That way we all know where Douglas is at currently right now. Then after that, I will go over the present levels of academic and functional performance for Douglas. He's had a great year, and I'd sure like to keep that going. I will also discuss some new goals that I'd like to propose for him, myself as well as Miss Stevens from speech. We have a set of goals that we would like to institute for Douglas's new IEP. And then I also want to discuss the extended school year and also offer why we feel that it does not apply to Douglas at this time. Data does not support ESY at this time, but we will continue to monitor that. And I will go through the data itself just to show you what I'm talking about. Then we'll also discuss services that we currently have in place for Douglas, as well as services that we would like to propose to either continue or add for Douglas in the future for this next IEP. And then I will also discuss the accommodations that we have for Douglas, both in the classroom as well as for assessments. And this time of year especially is very important for those accommodations because this enters our state-mandated assessment period, which is what we use as the dynamic learning maps, which is the DLM assessments. And that goes for pretty much every student in our school. And Douglas will have his own set of DLM assessments that he needs to complete as well. And I'm going to propose accommodations that we can use to help him get through those and to perform to the best of his ability. And then I will turn the meeting back over to Principal Weber, and she will discuss the LRE statement, which is the least restrictive environment, and why we feel that Douglas is properly placed here at Life Academy. I think that's very important that we also cover why we believe that he's in the right place and how we feel he's progressing. Then she will also discuss the procedural safeguards, which I will, of course, verify that both Jason and Veronica, mom and dad, received from me when they got the draft copy of the IEP that I sent a week before this date. And then also Principal Weber will go over any prior written notice that is necessary, which of course Dr. Rickman will verify as well during the test explanation phase, because a lot of those tests required prior written consent from parents as well. So we want to make sure that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed before we actually go through the data that we got from those tests. Once we complete the entire meeting, we will make sure that everything in the system that we use to track IEPs, which the system we use is Embrace, once we verify that all of that has been filled out properly, everybody's in agreement that Douglas is in the right place, and that we can actually carry on with Douglas in this program, then everybody will sign that they were present. Everybody signs the IEP form themselves, and then I will make sure that mom and dad have an option to get the hard copy here before they depart, or I can send it home in what we call a daily binder, which is just a daily communication log that we use with parents at home to keep them up to speed on the progress of their student. At that point in time, if there's no other concerns, then the meeting would adjourn and we would all go about the rest of our day. And I would, of course, return to the classroom. In the process of that meeting, though, two things that aren't necessarily legally bound to cover, I like to ensure that we have, especially in the case of Mr. Henderson, he has 3 significant medications that he takes on a daily basis. One of them is for a significant mental illness. So I would verify and possibly re-verify, as I'm sure our school nurse would during the meeting, that we have the appropriate medications on file and that we have the right dosage, because these are very important medications that tend to mess with his system, and I do not want to cause complications for that young man. But once the meeting is adjourned, we would all go about our day and everybody would get their appropriate copies as we go. And that is the video submission of my week 11 introduction for the mock IEP meeting. And please let me know if you have any concerns or comments. Thank you. Bye.